Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 22 of the Empowered Psychology Podcast. My name is Cristela, and I am the host and the founder of Empowered Psychology, which is an educational platform and community that gives a voice to those with visible and invisible illnesses with the goal of empowering others to overcome adversity and create their dream lives. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And today we have a very, very, very special guest, Chizaram Ajiwe, and she is an amazing woman, multi-talented, aspiring scholar. She's about to embark on her journey in the PhD world in counseling psychology, right? Clinical psychology. So I'm just very excited because you're looking at the future of higher education right here. And she's also a creative director, artist, author, public speaker, prophet. I mean, you name it. And she is that. So we're so excited to have you.
Thank you so much.
Say whatever you want. Yeah.
Hi guys, thank you Cristela for having me on. I'm very excited. Me and Cristela tried to do this before. We had a whole podcast lined up for y'all. It was like one of the first.
And it was good.
It was good, yeah. But technical difficulties, but it's okay because that honestly jump started what she needed to do and just get her in the groove of understanding and learning how to do the podcast. And it was great. We had a great conversation. I would have it again, but it's time for us to talk about new things. And so I'm really excited to be here. As she said, yes, I am pursuing my PhD in clinical psych, and I'm also a creative director, and I plan to do both and hopefully mix the two some way. I believe it's possible. So yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to chat.
Yes. So today is a very important episode, and I'm so glad to have you here because Cheesy is someone who is in the process of creating her dream life. I was just thinking about it. It's like you're really creating your dream life.
It's true.
You pursued your passion in psych, and then you're also going to pursue your passion in creative directing, and you're going to LA, where it's that's where it is, perfect. And I love that you are combining education and creativity. And that's why I love my generation. I know a lot of people complain about us, but honestly, we're a group of innovators.
Innovators, changing things for making things better, honestly, because people will complain about Gen Z, millennials, whatever the case may be, but we're very aware of our emotions, what is going on, generational things, and we want to change those things. Maybe sometimes we don't know how to do it the right way, but it's a learning process, right?
Yes.
And I think the fact that we want to and the fact that we're aware of what we're doing is really inspiring and not something to look down upon just because we like TikTok or something. TikTok has been very beneficial for a lot of people than it would be detrimental. So I'm not talking about TikTok, just an example.
No, shout out to TikTok because I wasn't really into TikTok.
I don't have it anymore because it's too distracting, but it was fun when I did. It was helpful.
I haven't scrolled yet. I just been posting, and that's how Empowered Psychology has been growing. Right. I love the algorithm because I just post and it hits the right audience. And so, you're right. TikTok is amazing. That's another point I wanted to make. We, as scholars and educators, I feel like we need to educate people how to use the internet because that's the power of our generation. Some people are using the internet to their advantage and some aren't. And I kind of want to talk about that a little bit in this topic that we have today. But in this topic, the reason I brought Cheesy is because she is someone who is creating her dream life, and that is not easy. That is not easy. It takes a lot of courage, and we are believers. And so I feel like in our case, my case, but I'm sure the same has happened for you. It's like God's given me the strength to do this. Because there's been so many times where I wanted to quit, but when God gives you a calling and it came from Him, you can't quit, and only the strong will survive. So today's topic is how life is a fight. Life is a fight. And some of y'all may be like, oh, I already knew that. But as we are entering adulthood, I'm realizing that every day is a fight. And it has not been easy but it is possible to build a strong mindset in order to create your dream life and keep going and not let setbacks happen. Because when you want to be as successful as Cheesy, because I know you want to be extremely successful, things are going to happen. Like, and it's not like things are going to happen once a week. Things are going to happen every day on a daily basis. So it's really important that we talk about this, because a lot of people do not talk about this. And that's where I want to talk about how basically everyone's been lied to.
Yeah. When we're talking about the topic, I always think about how if you're not fighting for your life, somebody else is, and they're probably winning the battle. And when I say somebody else, I think of it not just physically, or like not just here on earth, but spiritually as well. Like, there's a fight for your soul. There's a fight for your spirit, literally every single day, like she said. And so when it comes to mindset, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to spiritual health, when it comes to physical health, all those things are being attacked every single day, and you have an enemy. And I think people, when you talk about people being lied to, it's like they think that they have like dominion over their life and what happens and whatnot. But when you make a choice to do something a certain way, you're choosing a side. It's not just like, oh, I'm just doing this because I want to, but there's actually a whole battle going on that we don't see, that affects us here on earth. Whether you believe it or not, it's true, because you can see it in people's everyday life. So example, if somebody is choosing to drink and party every day, they're choosing a side, they're choosing a lifestyle, and that is a battle that is going on that you don't see, because they could choose to not do those things and see change in their life, but instead they might choose to do those things and see the same results happening and not realize it. And they don't realize that this is the root of their problem, right? Yeah. I'm speaking very vague because I am trying to keep it practical. Because if I get all detailed and spiritual, I'm gonna bring out my Bible. So to keep it for those who may not, understand the ways of God and how this world really works, I just think I think you should open your eyes to see that the reality is that there is consequences for actions, and in those consequences, they can be good or bad, right? And I'm not talking about karma. I'm just talking about when you do something, something happens, right? Or when you don't do something, something happens. And so in all of that, all I'm trying to say is that there is a being that is against you, and there's a being that's for you. And we like to call him Jesus Christ, God, right? And then there's a being that's against you, and it's the enemy, Satan, right? And a lot of people think, oh yeah, I can't wait to turn up with the devil in hell. Like, I've seen tweets like that, oh, hell finna be a party. Like, people say things like that. It's like, and some people know that like what they're doing is not right. And I know it may come from a place where maybe someone has told them that they're going to hell and they're just accepting it. Don't accept it, and don't let that person get to you as well, but don't accept that just has to be your fate. Like, there is a better way to live, and that this part of our life is a very short part, and because of that, that's why we need to choose to fight and to not give up and just do whatever and just have whatever life that we think is best, because we only know in part. We only know what may be happening right now, but we don't know what will happen tomorrow, right? We don't know. The world is so big, like there's just no way that we can say, oh yeah, I know that this is going to happen. Oh yeah, I know this will turn out this way, right? And so, yeah, I think I don't know what else to say about the being lied to part, but I just think it's like I think it's more of a like we just don't know, more than a being lied to. But I would say it's a little bit of both, because there's someone lying to you, saying that what you're doing is okay, but really it's actually deteriorating your whole life and keeping you from the dream life that you want. And some people might get that dream life, but they'll lose their mental health in the process, lose their soul in the process, lose their happiness and joy in the process. And so it's not really the dream life that is actually achievable. Like, yes, you can be happy and be wealthy, right? You can also be happy and not be wealthy. And I think that all has to do with your inner being, your soul health and your spiritual health, and your mental health, right? And so, yeah, to talk about just fighting, what do you feel like people fight the most in this life? Like, what do you, or at least maybe for you?
Well, I love how you went to that point, because that was so insightful and wise. I didn't think about it that way, so thank you, because that is so real.
It's real.
For me, that's why I love having her here, because she gives us another perspective. Yes, we've been lied to in that sense. We're living in a time where a lot of people don't believe in God.
Yeah.
I know that we are Christians, so of course we surround ourselves with people who do believe in God, but a lot of people do not. And it's because of the media and things like that, and just different
Christians
forces.
too.
Oh,
people who claim to be Christians.
Yes.
Ruining our name.
Yes. People.
That's why I don't even say anymore. I just say I believe in God and I follow Christ, Jesus Christ. I'm not. Yes. I don't know if I'm a Christian to some, if they are defining it the way I define it, right? But like some people don't define Christian the way I would, because they see it as judgmental people and like people who are condemning. Yes. And I can agree that there are people like that out there, but I don't define myself as that. That's not a Christian to me. Yes. But sorry to interrupt.
No, because you're 100% right. Like, even Christians, as we can see, if you study history, they created this society we live in, and they tricked a lot of people. They used the Bible, manipulated the Bible into different ways.
Do you know that they literally like during slavery? I'm just gonna say those who were slave masters, white people, they literally took a piece of the Bible out and then glued it back together just so that they can have all the parts that they wanted. Like, they literally took pages out. Like, you can look it up.
That was their kind of reason for kidnapping.
Yes,
because they were like, they're not Christians, so we can kidnap them. I'm like, what? It's been. I mean, it's diabolical.
It's
what has
actually
happened.
wicked. Truly,
it's real. That's what we're saying. This world is a battle. We've just been desensitized. Is that how you say it? Desensitized. Sorry. Okay, what she said.
Desensitized.
Okay.
Yes.
That we're living in. I don't want to say hell, but we're living in a war. We're living in a war in all aspects. So when I say people have been lied to, I love that point, and that is like spot on. And also, what I also meant by that was people. For example, we go on the internet, and I personally, I'm guilty. I love like content, like the self-care content, the glow-up content.
I love watching those, especially on YouTube.
Yeah, so I love that content because it just like it inspires me, it empowers me. But it's a trick. It's a trick because people get a high off the end result. So then they go into making a goal with the wrong intention because they're looking at the result. So for example, let's just give the most obvious example for women. They see a girl who transformed her body. So then they're like, oh, I want to do that. And they're thinking about the six-pack, the abs, the face, chin, jawline cut, whatever. But then they go to do it and they can't sustain it. Why? Because you have been lied to. You're tricking yourself into wanting the end result, but you didn't see the hours and days and nights of work. And that's what I'm saying. It's a fight.
It is a fight.
It is a fight because that person who lost a bunch of weight, naturally, they had to fight. They had to say no to the pizza. They had to say no to the alcohol and going out. They had to change their whole lifestyle and put something, have a deeper meaning to what they were doing. So that's what I meant. Like, we've been lied to because when we see successful people, like right now, we're in this beautiful building. We just want that, but we don't see the work that it takes. We don't see the work that it takes to get to where you want to go. I hope I'm making sense.
That makes sense. There are some things in life that we feel like are too big for us, right? But there are some things that we feel like we can handle. But when God is telling you something, when He's called you to something, when He said that you don't have to be sick in this world, when He says that you can achieve these things and, make a name for yourself and have a good reputation in this world and have a good job and your family can be restored and healed and that you will have children, that you will have a good husband, all these good things that He set up for you. We don't have the same amount of faith for those things as we do for just the little things that we have. And so I think that applies to the fight for your life, because it's like the fight includes not limiting yourself and not settling for just what's okay or for what's good enough to you, because there is a God that wants more for you, that wants to give you an abundant life. And you can't get those things without fighting the things that he's telling you to stop doing, right? And so the fight, like, for example, Crystal, I know you were telling me how, like, you've stopped drinking and stuff, and it's like, that's because you want to better your mental health, and you believe, and your physical health, and you believe that those things can actually happen, but that's a fight. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, the fight that I'm talking about is the fight to believe for more. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I just think when it comes to the fight, we need to believe that there's better, and I think most people don't know that there's better because they don't believe in God, and they don't believe that what he says is true. And so that's why we see ourselves in the same cycles, same struggles every single day. And it's the main problem with humanity. Yes. Right? It's the root cause of why we struggle with what we do.
So as y'all know, and as you know, I'm finally in remission. And I feel like it has been a fight. My perspective on life has changed so much ever since I started really prioritizing my prayer life. I realized that because I've always been determined, I've always been a hustler, but for some reason I would make these plans for myself, and I found that I always got stuck with like crazy battles battles with my health, having a son very young, fighting my health again, random things that have happened that I haven't even talked about. But I was like, whoa, and I kind of got traumatized for making plans. I was like, I don't want to make any plans because I'm so scared of what could happen. And when I just kind of lived like that for a while. And then when I really started prioritizing my relationship with God revealed to me, don't make a plan, have an intention. And then, because what you have planned for yourself, like, that's not even 1/4, 1/8, 1/24 of what I have planned for you. It's true. I was like, what? Like, you don't want me to make a plan? Seriously? Like, how am I going to make this happen? But as soon as I started setting intentions and not having a plan, my life has changed, like, tremendously.
And that would probably trigger someone to say that you don't have a plan. It's not like you don't have a plan. Like, you have a plan, but it's not, you're not like, oh, this has to happen this way. Yes. Like, you're not like stuck on the plan that you made. You're like, God, I have an idea of what I want to do today. I have an idea of what I want to do in the next few months, and if it doesn't work out, I trust you. I think that's the difference. Some people are like, if it doesn't work out, then I have to make a plan B, and it's like, no, you don't.
No. What I found is that, but also that I set the intention. I'm like, okay, today I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do this, and that, and then God transforms that intention because I put action with it, so it becomes His work. It's so crazy.
That's good.
So what happened was, I'm finally in remission, and I talked about this in the last episode. I had to like snap back in reality because I realized that I was severely traumatized by my lupus flares, and I wasn't owning it. I wasn't owning that I have been through a lot. I wasn't owning how scary and how serious my illness was. I became numb and disassociated in order to survive, and it caught up to me. So you kind of hit on that when what you just previously said. Like, you can be rich, but if your mind isn't in the right place, like, it doesn't matter. Once you get what you want, you're not going to appreciate it, and it's not going to be what you thought. So I realized, okay, I really need to ground in reality, and I started to really accept what I had gone through. I started to cry again. My trauma was so bad I wasn't even able to cry. I mean, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's crazy. So I was starting to cry again, and out of nowhere, I feel like a prophet. Brian Green is one of my mentors. I went to his class, and he was like, yo, you need to clean how you eat. I'm like, okay, because I love to eat, bro. Like, I love to eat, and I was, my blood work was getting better, but I wasn't really taking my life serious. I wasn't really doing things that told God, hey, I do want to live longer, because unfortunately my illness is very bad. Lupus is a very bad illness, and I do not want to play with it. But I was still drinking alcohol. I was still eating out a lot. I was eating candy. I was drinking coffee every day. I was doing things that aren't good for me. And I feel like God was like slowly telling me, look, if you want to live a long life, and if you want to ensure that you're operating at your highest level, because you want all these things, I can give them to you, but are you willing to fight for it? I'm like, fight? Like, what are you talking about? So I was like, fight? Like, you mean I have to fight for this?
I'll put a pin there, because some people think, or like Christians even would think that like, oh, if I'm asking God for this, like he's just gonna give it to me. But it's like, there are things that you have to put into motion and start doing to show God that, hey, I am serious about the prayer I prayed to you. And it's like, then he will do the rest. Like, but you can't, it's the faith without works is dead, literally. Like, you can't say, God, heal me, and then go back to eating all the things that made you sick, right? And you can't say like, oh God, I want this person, but be going out and dating 10,000 people. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Lord, give me a good husband, but you can't even be a good wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's stuff like that people just don't understand about God. They think that he's just a genie, but he's he is a being. He wants a relationship. And it's like, when he's telling you to stop doing things, and telling you to, like, trying to keep you from doing certain things, it's not for your own detriment, for you to struggle, so that you can stop struggling and start living, just like how you're saying, like, you want to start living, you don't want to have this illness. And it's possible sickness and health are not from him. It's because we live in a fallen world, right?
Facts.
And so it's like, these things are the consequences of us being in flesh and living in this sin. But God, there's no sickness or illnesses in heaven. So these gifts that he wants us to enjoy, or this life that he wants us to enjoy, is possible, but we have to listen to him and actually do the work part of the faith part as well. So it's a two-part thing.
Yes, it is. And you know, that's where this process started for me. This is, I can honestly say right now, I am rising. And you know, a lot of y'all want to start up here. Well, if you start up here, how are you going to know what it feels like to rise? I can tell you, I feel like I'm really building a sustainable lifestyle right now. And when he told me, like, how serious are you? I was like, well, I'm serious. Like, you know, I really want to live. I've already known what it feels like to almost die. I already know what it feels like to almost be disabled. Like this, he was like kind of revealing to me how scary it was. It was actually very scary. Like the revelation he gave me, because he was like, this is serious. You can end up like this. You can end up like that. You want to lose your hair again. Like, it's no joke. You have to change your life. So I started with the alcohol. I was like, you know what? I'm giving up the alcohol. It's been 4 months. I started cleaning my diet, eating more fruits, no meat, no chicken, mostly fish, no rice. I mean, that was tough. That has been tough for me. But mostly like fruits, vegetables, coconut water, lots of movement.
But God is going to give you the strength to continue to do those things.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, when he's telling you to do those things, he's not like, good luck, you got it. He's going to help you through it. He's helped me. And it's like, I think a lot of people try to do things on their own and they fail, and it's because there is a power that you have when you rely on God, when you lean on him and know that he's helping you through these things. It comes out of nowhere almost. It's like, wow, I didn't think I could get through that. But then you do, because you know that you've told God that you want these things to happen. And he's not just going to leave you there to do it alone. He never leaves us nor forsakes us, right? So it's like, in all of those things, you have a helper. Exactly. The Holy Spirit is there to help you through all of these things.
Yes.
It's really a win-win. Like,
it is.
And you think there is a part of like fighting, you know, what your flesh wants to do. You know, you want to eat some rice and chicken. You know what I'm saying? You miss those things.
I miss it.
As you continue to fight, God will give you the palate to really enjoy quinoa and enjoy salmon and raspberries and all this fruit. Like, you won't even miss the old way of being, because you know that being this way is actually keeping you alive. It's helping you live the right way and abundantly, and more things will follow with that, because eating right is such a big like factors for so many things in our lives, like everything. Honestly, what you feed yourself is so important. No, it actually makes no sense. It's too important. Actually,
it's too important. And as I started to embark on that journey, you know, I've been fighting for my life, literally. And what I've realized is that this isn't easy. It looks cool, you know. It looks. I'm not gonna lie. When he revealed this to me, I was excited, but then there came those times where I had temptations. And the thing I want to tell y'all is this. This is what I realized about life and fighting for my life. You're not gonna get to a point where you don't enjoy these things. These things are designed for you to enjoy them.
To be good.
Exactly.
And enjoyable.
So, like, I used to think, okay, I've overcome this when I no longer like it. No, I'm always going to like it. But I'm now, the no's that I've said, you know, it started with one no.
Right.
Now I'm seeing my body change. My hair is growing back. My skin. The way I feel.
Yes.
The wisdom I'm getting. So now, like, I'm not even going to, it's to this point. Do I really want to go across the street to my favorite place, Tiny's Milk and Cookies, and get an 800-calorie cookie?
Sheesh.
And feel like, I don't know, like it's not going to give me, it's so much calories and it doesn't have anything in it that's good.
Right.
It has a lot of sugar, it has butter, you know, it has all these things. Or should I go to Whole Foods and get like a big box of blackberries and replenish myself?
Right.
And I'm telling you, all the no's that I've said, I'm fighting for my life and be like, no, I don't want this. I don't want this. I've had to call on to God. Like, God, please, like, can you do this for me?
Right.
Because I can't do it for myself.
Right.
And he has. And now that I've accumulated those no's, the yeses I'm getting are so powerful. Yes, you are in remission.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Period.
Like, so it's like you have to fight. Like, that's if you're like, for example, if you're struggling with anxiety right now, you have to go fight for your life. You can't just sit there, because I'm gonna be real with you. I know there's a scripture, I don't have it, but there was a scripture of I don't know if it was a man or a woman who there was a demon messing with her or him, and she was like, "What's your name?" She asked him the name, and that what I got from that scripture is like, you have to call out what's attacking you.
Right. That's
you have
good.
to call out what's attacking
name.
you. Exactly.
Is it when Jesus went to I think it was a man. Jesus went to a man and he's like, what is your name? He said, "We are legion." Is it that one?
I think it was
or
that
is it a different one.
I think
there's like 2 or 3, so
yeah, but I think it was something like that. So you know, as someone who has, in this process I've had, because look, if you're willing to go through the process and fight, you're going to have to fight every day. And when I started this, I had so many, honestly, demons coming at me so bad mentally in my mind.
Yes, because when you start trying to elevate yourself, of course the devil knows that. He gonna send his demons,
the strongest one.
He's like, because they want you to stay with them. Like, they want you to stay in these things, in these cycles. And so the moment you try to get out, of course there's gonna be resistance. Yeah. But you have to resist the resistance, is what I say. Resist the resistance.
No, you have to. Yeah. And when this happened, it was crazy. I had so much anxiety. I couldn't. The anxiety was so bad, I couldn't drive. Like, really, I couldn't drive, and it got to a point where, like, I was like, what is this? Like, what is happening? Like, why am I freaking out over this? Like, just because I can't have, like, candy bar? Really? Like, a candy bar? You know? So I was like, who are you? Like, the voice in my head that was like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. Like, what was the voice saying? It was like some weird, like, just anxiety. My anxiety, like, I visualize it like this. Like, just lying. Oh, you can't have this. Oh, you need to have it. We're not done. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're just really going to be that way, blah, blah. I was like, who are you? Yeah. I literally had to say it like that. Like, who are you? What are you? Why are you living in my head? And I realized that a lot of y'all have accepted certain spirits in y'all's head. And that's where I started to really cleanse my mind, my body, my soul. And I had to fight for that. So that's the message that I'm trying to give. If you really want to achieve your dream life, and if you really want to conquer things and overcome things, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a fight, And you have to be prepared to fight for yourself and fight for your life and find that why. Why am I doing this? Why do I, like, for example, with me, I want to live a long life. I have Francisco. God has already told me that he has a big plan for me, and I have to make sure I fulfill that. And each day is not different, but I feel like, in my opinion, this may get deep, I feel like that is the ultimate ticket to heaven. Did you fight today? How many tests did you pass? Because it's easy to just sit back and let the world take you. It will take you.
It will take if you let it.
It will take you. But
That's
for those who like really fight every day, and God sees, wow, like she really fought and resisted that temptation. Like she really did. He really did that. He's gonna reward you.
I got a scripture for that. So. Because recently I've been dealing with a lot of warfare, so I thought it was perfect that you're talking about fighting for your life, because yes, we're talking about fighting for your life physically and in this world, but also spiritually, because your spiritual health really it really is the root of everything else in your life. Your mental health and your physical health. If you are right in your spirit and in your mental, everything else will just flow from there. So I had these written down, and it's 1 Corinthians 10:12-13. It says, "Therefore let one who thinks he stands firm, which is immune to temptation, or overconfident and self-righteous, take care that he does not fall into sin and condemnation. No temptation, regardless of its source, has overtaken you or enticed you that is not common to human experience, nor is any temptation unusual or beyond human resistance." So the Bible's literally telling you that anything you're tempted with is not uncommon, and you can overcome it. And it says why? Because God is faithful to his word. He is compassionate and trustworthy, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability to resist. But along with the temptation, he has in the past and is now and will always provide a way out as well, so that you will be able to endure it without yielding and will overcome temptation with joy. And so
wow,
that's so
powerful.
This is the verse that Lily has been carrying me, because it's really understanding and being confident in the fact that God, when you rely on God, he will give you a way out. When you feel like, oh gosh, I take this drink, he will give you a way out. You can say no. And I think something for me that I've always struggled with is saying no, because I didn't really have the confidence and faith and trust to believe that the one who's in me is greater than who is in the world. Like that my flesh doesn't have say over what I do. Like my spirit is strong enough to overcome these temptations, strong enough to say no to a cookie and say yes to the blackberries. Like it is possible, but a lot of people don't trust that. I'm speaking for myself too. Like I just didn't trust that. I didn't believe that like I could really overcome this, because it feels so strong. But that's the problem. The more you feed your flesh, the stronger it becomes, and the harder it is to overtake, right?
Yes.
But then I have another verse that I added here. It says, "For though we walk in the flesh as mortal men, we are not carrying our spiritual warfare according to the flesh and using weapons of man. The weapons of our warfare are not physical. They're not flesh and blood. Our weapons are divinely powerful for the destruction of fortresses. We are destroying sophisticated arguments," which is things that are coming in your head saying, no, this isn't right, you shouldn't do that. No, I feel like this is a bad. Ask yourself, who are you? Who's telling me these things, right? Sophisticated arguments and every exalted and proud thing that sets itself up against the true knowledge of God. And we are taking every thought and purpose captive to the obedience of Christ, right? And so another verse I had was talking about to think about things that are true and honorable and worthy of respect and confirmed by God's word and pure and wholesome and things that bring peace, things that are lovely. And so I tied all of those scriptures together because I wanted to remind myself that there is better, that I can think on good things, that my mind can be sane, that I can actually say no to the things of the flesh, and that my spirit can have dominion over my flesh, that can have power over my flesh, because I am trusting and believing that God is the one who sustains me, that he's the one who has delivered me time and time again. He's the one that has forgiven me and that loves me, and so that there is so much more for me to live in this life. And I think another thing that gets me is that every day that I wake up is another day to get it right. Like God is giving you another chance every single day. And something I was gonna say to you too is like when you were battling lupus, that was the enemy trying to take you out early. But God has kept you because you have a testimony and you have a story to tell, and that's why the enemy's still trying to get you, because you have so much power, because he has not won you yet.
He has not, and he will not.
And he will not. Not even yet. He will not.
He can't.
Like
right
he
now,
literally
we're
knows
beating
he's
his
losing.
ass. Like right now, like
he literally knows
he's
losing, bro. Like
yes.
that's why he's so mad. He's trying to send everything your way, but God has already redeemed you, and you're already good. Like you're already safe. So it's really powerful and it's really exciting. And so I'm really excited for you.
Thank you.
But it may feel less traveled, but that's the point. More people are not going to pick the road less traveled, but there is more benefit. The narrow path, it has more benefit, more life, more abundance than what the world may be telling you, like, this is the way to go. Exactly. If you see more people going that way, go the other way. Like, honestly, go the other way and find out for yourself. Like, honestly, hopefully you don't have to, and you can just listen to wisdom of us and other people who have been through things. And I've seen the other side of things. Like, there are so many people, so many testimonies out there of people with their health, of people with their relationship with God, and just trying other things and just being in the same cycle. You will see that they all lead to the same thing, as death at the end of the day. And I don't mean physical death, I mean spiritual death,
everything,
soul death, mental health death.
No.
You die inside. And so you may be alive, but you're really just walking around dead, and that's what the enemy wants to get you to. He wants you to be dead internally. He may not even take your life, but if you are dead on the inside, he's fine to just let you roam, because he knows that you're already dead. You're not going to find the other way. But there is life. There is so much more life to this life.
Yes.
And it's like, we just don't see it that way because of what we see around us. But if you stop looking at what the world is looking at and actually look to God and ask him, like, show me, God, show me where the better way, the better life is. Show me and test me and help me to see that this is the way I'm supposed to be living. He will do it because he wants you to be walking with him. He wants you to know Christ as your Savior so that you can know him better, right? And so that you can see that this life, you don't have to do it alone. No. You don't have to struggle with these things alone, that there is more that he wants you to live. Like, I could talk about this all day, and that's the reason why I'm going into therapy. I know I'm a Christian, and I know you usually don't mix like your religion with your therapy, but it's not a religion to me. It's really a relationship. And I have no plans to like start making people come to Christ because I'm a therapist, but I'm going to give them the practical. I pray that I'll be able to give them practical steps that they will see for themselves that, wait, there is more than this. Because I believe in therapy, but I also believe in God and Jesus, right? And so I don't think that therapy is the end all be all, because there are people that go to therapy for 10 years and they're still going through the same things, just silencing the demons. That's all, just making them quieter. But it's
Band-Aid.
You need to get rid of them.
Exactly.
There is a way to get rid of the demons. There is one higher. There is a name higher. Jesus, Yeshua. Okay, his name is higher than any other name.
The Ruach Kodesh.
The Ruach Kodesh.
Yes.
Like, demons flee. Do you understand?
Bye. Exactly. You have to talk to them like that. Like get out of my face. Like, you.
Do you know who I belong to?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
There's just so much more to life, guys, and.
Yes.
It's not going to be easy. Nothing in this life is going to be easy, but choose your hard. choose your hard.
What you want. You have to fight for it. It is not going to be easy, and you have to be willing to go through these uncomfortable situations and realize that it's more than a prize. It's character. It's mental strength. It's actually trust between you and God. Can God trust you with this plan? That's all I gotta say.
That's good.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
I just wanted to share a testimony as well. As we mentioned before, like I applied for a PhD program and I got in, and that was a fight. I think a lot of people see like my Instagram, and they see like the great faith that I have in the Lord, and that, it's, yay, this happened for me. But there was a fight before I got to that mountaintop, right? Before I got what the Lord has already said was mine, right? And so, for example, the school that I got into, I only applied to one school, and I remember I told Christella, and she was already saying, you're in, like, it is what it is, right? And that type of encouragement is always so helpful, but it's not easy when you're by yourself and you're the one, like, facing those deadlines, facing the application time, facing the doubt from people around you and parents that are like, are you sure you want to go to school in California? It's expensive. I don't know if this is going to be and sometimes the voices won't come from just your head, they'll be from other people. But relying on God really solidifies you, because his word is final. Everything he says cannot come back to him void. So if he said it's going to happen, it's literally going to happen. It doesn't matter what anybody else says.
Doesn't matter.
And so I really had to fight to trust to trust God's word. And that, like, you would think, he's God, everything he says is true, it's easy to believe that. But it's not easy to believe when there's other things telling you that this won't happen. And being a human, obviously, I'm gonna hear those things and like start to rethink and be like, maybe I should apply for another school, maybe I should add another school to my resume. But the part of my testimony is that I trusted God to only apply to one. It wasn't that I applied to 3 and I got into the one God said, woo, good thing. No, it's that he told me to apply to one, that and that would be enough. I didn't have to spend any extra money on application fees, didn't have to go visit any other school, because he said this is the one that it is. And so the fight also comes with fighting against naysayers, right? Fighting against what other people may think and say, but you have to trust what you heard God say, what that you want as well. Sometimes it won't even be just, oh, God said this, but it's like, that you have received confirmation, and that you have worked hard for something. And if you've done the work, if you've done what you need to do, then what anybody else says, it's like, it doesn't matter what you say. But really, for me, it's God's word is final. Like, if he said it for me, then it's done. And also, I'm gonna put in the work because he said it. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with that. Like, I'm gonna be hardworking. I'm gonna get my application on time. It's gonna be a good essay that I'm writing. It's not gonna be something sloppy just because I know that God said it. It doesn't mean that now I can just give haphazardly work. No, like, it's gonna be the best because God operates in excellence, and so do I, right? So that is, like, I think people think that we're just gonna have like some type of magical thing happen to us and we're just gonna be good at what we do. It's like, no, you have to work hard at it, but there is a grace that comes with it to where you'll be able to excel in it as well, because simply because God said this is what you're gonna do, right? And so, yeah, I just want to encourage. I think my tip of encouragement is to really not give up. I think that's my thing. Really don't give up. Don't ever throw in the towel, because God is not going to give up on you. Like, I know people say that, but he really is not. No, like, as long as you are fighting for your life, as long as you are fighting for more, he will be there to guide you. And if you feel like you're fighting in the wrong direction, he will redirect you. You will know, because the outcome will not be, you could check it, because you'll check the outcome of what you're fighting for. If what you're fighting for is detrimental and is actually leading you down a dark path and you're not doing well mentally, ask God to redirect you, because that is not his fruits. Those are not the fruits that come with fighting for the things that God has for you, right? Exactly. Fighting for the life God has for you.
Yes.
So yeah.
Wow.
That's all I'll say.
That's amazing, y'all. We could keep going. We could, but we gotta come to a pause.
Yeah,
but
you gotta
this
stop taking your notes.
Yes, but this was amazing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we are
awesome.
some fighters. And I'm just going to embrace, because I've been learning that it's really important to embrace who you are. God, a lot of people, they're like, oh, that's cockiness. No, it's called confidence and God's gifts in your life. Mm-hmm. And God has like really called me lately, like, can you please embrace the gift that you have? Like, that's please. Good. And I'm like, okay. And I've been starting to learn. I was like, how do I even do this? You know? And at first it was a process, but now I'm like, that I've done it, because action is important. Even if you don't believe it, you start to do it, and you do it more, and then you start to believe it. Yeah. I'm starting to see, like, whoa, like, I needed this. Like, how was I gonna get what I wanted to get if I didn't have confidence, if I didn't believe in who I was?
That's right.
So I just want to reflect, for me, thank you for saying that. Of course. The enemy has lost. He's lost, because he's tried to take me out so many times. Physically, those are the main two, physically and mentally, and it hasn't worked. And it won't work. And I hope that this empowers you, that you are strong. And it's okay. Like, if you have to admit at first, I'm weak, God help me, he will help you, and you'll get to a point where you're like, those voices will come. No one likes you. That's a lie. Cheesy likes me. My mom likes me. My son likes me. My mentors like me.
Love ya.
What are you talking about? That's how you have to fight. Right. Verbally. Yes. Some of y'all have to verbally say fight.
It. If it looks like you're talking to yourself, that's fine. It's not worth losing your mental health over.
Exactly. Like, the enemy wants you to stay in your head. So protect your peace. Figure out what you want and make sure that you're willing to fight for it. So that's my main takeaway. If you want something, the number one thing you need to accept is that it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to fight for it. And y'all have two amazing examples. Cheesy applied to one school and she got in. And I knew she was going to get in because the fact that she applied to one school, she was disciplined with what God told her. She was disciplined with what God told her. And who knows, what if she would have given doubts? That's the enemy taking your money, applying to all these schools, and then you probably wouldn't have had the same energy in that one application. You probably would have had different energies in this application. Like, maybe not today. She could have blocked her blessing, not listening to God.
It's
so
true.
Be confident in who you are and know that God has a plan for you, and you're gonna have to fight for it. But the prize He's gonna give you for the fight is like 10 times greater than what you could ever imagine.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh. For real. Like,
yes.
I have nothing else to say.
Yes. Okay, so that is it for today. Thank y'all so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.